Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Rambeard, and today I'd like to tell you about a dwarf and his son that may have seen the most out of all minor lore characters, as they have yet to miss out on an expansion. I'm talking about Hemet Nesingwary and his son, Hemet Nesingwary Jr. As has become apparent in the last decade, Blizzard loves Ernest Hemingway, and why wouldn't they? Hemingway was amazing, his books and short stories were awesome if you ask me. This love for him caused him to get reference upon reference in WoW. Who doesn't know the old gnome in the sea achievement, referring to the old man in the sea? But let's get to Hemingway's dwarven representation, Hemet Nesingwary. Fabled as the greatest huntsman of Azeroth, Nesingwary is known all around. If it exists, Nesingwary probably hunted it at some point. Due to some small references in quests here and there, we know that he has been in a variety of places on the Eastern Kingdoms, as well as on Kalimdor, before we ever meet him. A short story about some of his adventures on Kalimdor is written in the WARCRAFT Legends Volume 3 manga. Hemet was hired to kill a crazed furbolg for the Night Elves of Nighthaven and chase the beast into Winterspring. In this frozen land, he met a Night Elf druid called Talina. Talina's mount had had cubs, and she was on the run from some dishonorable hunter, Creedy, and his helpers, that were trying to get the cubs. Hemet wanted to help Talina out, but after she was shot by one of the hunters, she passed away. Hemet took it upon him to protect the cubs and set up traps to deal with the bounty hunters. He killed them all and finally caught Creedy. He bound the hunter to a tree and waited for some wildlife to eat him. The furbolg Hemet was originally hunting came up to Creedy and ate him alive. As soon as Creedy was absolutely dead, Hemet took the shot and killed the crazed furbolg, ending the story. This story teaches us that Hemet is obviously not afraid of a bit of bloodshed and gore. After all these travels, he ends up in Stranglethorn Vale, and we can meet him at his camp. There is a large quest line that both Hemet and his hunting companions offer us, in which we have to kill countless upon countless animals of the area. The fact that these quests are a very nice kill X amount quests, and that the base camp is located in an area where both the Horde and the Alliance thrive, made for a very heavy PvP location. Back in vanilla, there were no high level guards in this camp either, making it an utter war zone. You can see in the video that the ground is littered with corpses, and it always was. I spent quite a while myself fighting around the camp. Other than hunting, Hemet had also been riding. The Green Hills of Stranglethorn is what he has been working on, referring to Ernest's Green Hills of Africa. A companion of Nesingwary was reading through the work when a strong gust took several of the pages. We are tasked with gathering all the lost pages while also killing more animals. A fabled questline this was. I'm kinda sad it's no longer available. The quests in Stranglethorn lead up to the killing of some strong named animals, and that was it. The quest texts are rather funky though. For instance, tiger blood coats your hands, your weapons, and your druid garb, yet you still crave more. It's only slightly disturbing. When the Burning Crusade came, Hemet went to Outland to hunt new game, and his son, Hemet Nesingwary Jr, took over the expedition in Stranglethorn, where he stands to this day. If you complete the questline right now, you'll be rewarded with an achievement, the Green Hills of Stranglethorn. In Outland, you can pick up the actual book that was finished in Stranglethorn, but the Green Hills of Stranglethorn does not really refer to the Green Hills of Africa a lot. It's worth a read nonetheless, I think. Now then, when the Dark Portal opened, Hemet got word of the magnificent beasts that roam the plains of Nagrand. With a twinkle in his eye and a rifle in his hand, he ventured to the unknown world and set up a small safari camp once again. This camp too was usually littered with corpses, as there were no guards in the camp either. PvP galore. The quests given to you in Nagrand obviously revolve around killing beasts again. Hemet's great prize will be Tusker, some huge elk. We kill minor beasts at first, and after some time we get to stalk the big guys. Take note that we kill Bonthar the Clefthoof here, and then eventually Tusker herself. If you complete the entire Nesingwary questline in Nagrand, you'll get the achievement Hills Like White Elk, which refers to hills like white elephants. Aside from this, Hemet keeps it low during Burning Crusade, ever hunting so stealthily. When Wrath hit, the camp in Nagrand did not actually get taken over by Hemet Nesingwary Jr, which is kinda weird, but oh well. When we went out to explore the cold wastes of Northrend, Hemet once again found his calling. Sholazar Basin, test ground of creation by the Titans. What better place to hunt for big game than here? We get to Nesingwary's base camp. This camp is substantially bigger than the previous ones, and Hemet is standing near a hut, piles of skulls next to him. After completing some random tasks around the camp, we start hunting rhinos with Hemet. There are rumors of a huge rhino and some sage would supposedly know its location. After having killed normal rhinos, we set out to seek out the sage. It's one of those oracles, a tribe of Murloc-like creatures. After we gather some stuff for him, he tells us that the bones of NOZRONN has the answers we seek. These bones are the remains of some huge primordial rhino, and apparently its essence is still there and ready to talk. He speaks of a rhino by the name of Faroon, but also tells us we should leave the land after having claimed this prize. We go out and kill Faroon, but of course Hemet is not quite satisfied yet. He has heard of dragons to the north, and one of his hunter companions, DORIAN DRAGONSTALKER, has made camp to prepare for a dragon hunt. We go around and kill some of the normal drakes that will be a nuisance during the hunt for the biggest drake, Broodmother SLIVINA. To fight this massive beast, Dorian has planned to mount a mammoth. The mammoth could fight on its own, while Hemet would sit on top, shooting. We capture a mammoth and set out together with Hemet. Dorian unfortunately stays behind, even after all of his hard work. In an epic battle of the ages, we, together with Hemet, take down the mighty Broodmother and claim her head as a trophy. Back at the tiny camp, Hemet boasts to poor Dorian, who seems a bit salty about being left out. After completing this questline, you are rewarded with the achievement The Snows of NOZRONN, referring to Hemingway's book, The Snows of Kilimanjaro. If you complete all 3 of the achievements listed above, you will gain the meta achievement, Hemet Nesingwary, The Collected Quests. Now, all this killing does not go unnoticed, of course. In the Borean tundra, we find a druid leading the d.e.h.t.a movement that strives to protect all wildlife on Azeroth. Near him hangs a wanted poster for Hemet Nesingwary, with some nice nicknames he has obtained throughout the years. My personal favorite is Old Dirty D. I wonder where he got that. There's a questline in which you have to kill Nesingwary's lackeys, but you never actually have to stand against Hemet himself. In Cataclysm he does appear, but only very briefly, as a guardian in the Molten Front daily area. He does not offer any particular quests. In Mr. Pandaria he got a slightly bigger role once again. New continent, new game, right? This time he set up a camp in the Valley of the Four Winds together with his son, Jr. Although the animals in the valley are not particularly large in comparison to the game we've hunted in other lands, we still have a good time killing it. Mushans, foxes, anything you like. After every kill quest, a stuffed animal appears in the camp, which is kinda neat. There is also a foxicopter, which should not be glossed over. The hot air balloon stationed in the camp is another reference to the snows of Kilimanjaro, or to Under Kilimanjaro, as it is called the Kilimanjaro. After the initial couple of quests, Hemet Jr. tells us about an ancient creature that supposedly lives in the nearby pond. We gather some turtle shells that are required for some ritual to summon forth the beast. Junior is there together with his father and he starts the ritual. During the ritual he looks to become possessed, however, and he jumps into the water saying, "The master calls." Hemet gasps in disbelief and goes after his son. We follow and it appears that there is a small underwater cavern in the pond. We enter it and see Junior standing on his own. Hemet is there too and he can't quite help Junior. As we approach, we hear a sound from behind, and a huge Maya beast appears. We take care of the beast in an awesome battle, and as it falls, the curse is lifted from Junior. There is some adorable father-son love going on, and we head back to camp. This is the end of the Nesingwary questline in Pandaria, but we do not get an achievement for it, unfortunately. Damn it, Blizz. On to Waters of Draenor, though. Raw Draenor, that's something that Hemet really likes the sound of. His son would stay on Azeroth, while he would venture through the new Dark Portal. The game he used to hunt in Nagrand, but even more primal? Oh yeah, he was looking forward to it quite bad. Together with a small band of hunters, he ventured back to his old beloved Nagrand. We can see some of his fellow hunters near the Ring of Trials. They tell us of grim news, however. Hemet will not be hunting. He was called back to the front lines to fight against the Warsong Orcs alongside the Horde and the Alliance. He has been to war before. In the Stranglethorn questline you can read that he has fought in many battles, not only against beasts, but also against armies on the front line. Despite this, Hemet did not take this calling too well. He was kind of done with war, and looked forward to hunting in Nagrand a lot, so he deserted. We can find the dwarf at Hemet's Happy Hunting Grounds, placed around where his camp in Old Nagrand was. Here he sits on a chair, a keg of ale next to him. He's clearly drunk and speaks about how much he dislikes having to fight orcs and stuff. He invites us for a drink, and if you accept by taking a sip from the keg, Hemet will visit you in your garrison every now and then. Other than this, he did not get the chance to actually hunt. He was only seen in his chair, or in our garrison, and was drunk pretty much all of the time. Poor lad. There are plenty of items of his making, or named after him, however, that we still use a lot. Heck, I'm using a Heartseeker of his on my gun right now. You can also run around with several of his guns. But wait, Hemet may not have done a lot in WAD, but his pets have. Over the years, Hemet has obtained many animal companions, and if you obtain Nesingwary's lost horn in Ashran, you can call these companions to your side to help you. Take for instance Kroshik, the massive devil sawyer. You might know Kroshik from the Isle of Thunder, where he is being raised from egg to adult. Apparently, Hemet tamed the creature despite the fact that we don't see him around the isle at all. It's pretty great to see him, along with the other animals, running around Ashran. Talking about beasts, remember we killed Bunthar in NOZRONN during Burning Crusade? You can kill him again in NOZRONN during WAD, so that's kinda nice. Although Hemet seems a bit done at the moment, I reckon he will get a role again in Legion. I'm looking at the legendary boots named Nesingwary's Trapping Treads especially. We'll see what the future holds in store for old Hemingway's dwarven version. I hope you enjoyed this video, and that you have a good day. Goodbye!